Hi, everyone, and welcome to our second podcast. I'm Francisca.
And I am Kata. Thanks for tuning in. Today's episode is a little special. We're reflecting on some classroom simulation videos we both created. Based on the text, It is Impossible to Teach English in English by Barahona and others. Basically, we pretended to teach a short class with a clear learning objective, a warm up, and the beginning of an activity.
Exactly, and the fun part is even though we work separately, we noticed we had a lot in common. For instance, both of us started with greetings and simple check ins like, How are you today? Really setting the tone for young learners.
And both of our objectives follow the SWOT format. Students will be able to. We also made sure to rephrase the learning objective in kid friendly terms, which helps young learners understand what's coming next.
Yes, that kind of scaffolding really matters, and we both lean heavily on visual rather than text, which is crucial in this stage. Young learners respond better to images, movement, and structure, not long explanations.
Yes, and speaking of structure, our questioning patterns were also similar, starting with yes or no questions, moving into two option choices, and finally open ended prompts. It's a smooth progression that helps students gradually feel more confident using the target language.
Totally, and neither of us use Spanish to explain the content, which aligns with what Barahona and the other colleagues highlight the importance of sticking to the L2 but making it comprehensible through the other tools like modeling and context clues, such as the author mentioned. The use of instructional strategies make our teaching better.
Right, modeling is really important to implement when giving instructions. We both gave examples of how the activity worked before asking students to try. That kind of a demonstration is key to make sure they are not lost from the start.
Also, we both try to activate previous knowledge, connecting new vocabulary to what they already know. It wasn't random. Each decision was made intentionally, and in terms of content, continuity, and progression, and obviously to make target language comprehensible for our students.
Yes, now let's talk about things we could improve. Personally, I felt I needed to work on consistency in my gestures. At times, especially when checking comprehension, I kind of lost the nonverbal support I had used earlier.
That's interesting because for me, gestures were actually hard to integrate. I felt a bit stiff, like I was focusing so much on the content that I forgot to move naturally. So since my topic was food, maybe I could have brought some realia, like actual objects, to make it even more engaging.
I totally agree with you. Bringing food like an apple could make it super fun, but you're right about needing more gestural support, especially since kids have such short attention spans. We need to keep things dynamic. Also, when you introduce new content, maybe a few comprehension check questions will be helped, just to make sure they were following.
Fair point. And for you, I think you did great, but maybe a bit more eye contact with your students would elevate it even more. You use all the requirement elements, but I noticed you focus a lot on the visual aid.
True, I appreciate that. And honestly, I love that you mentioned drawings. Kids at that age really do connect with visuals more than we sometimes realize.
Yes, so at the end of the day, I think we both did a great job making the content accessible in English without resorting to Spanish. But like Barahona and the others said, we can always explore more tools to help young learners engage with English, making class feel more like a play and less like pressure.
Exactly. If English feels like a game, they will come back to it.
And before we wrap up, don't forget to answer our final reflection question. What specific strategy would you implement next time to make your lesson even more engaging and comprehensible for young learners? We would love to hear your thoughts.
Thanks for being here. See you in the next episode of our podcast.
Take care. Bye.